Gypsy was really trying to convince us that she was this sweet, innocent girl that she has been trying to portray this whole time. But her prison emails tell a very different story. Because what do you mean, not a very sexual being? Is this not an email that you sent? Where you say to somebody, I assume you know what a kitty play fetish is, LOL. Or this email where she says, you're gorgeous. I'm stopping by Independence when I get released. Wink. You can beast out on this, kitty. Or this one, where she says, spread my legs and dive in. We also have this one where she says, I'm one dog you won't shoo away from your crotch. And my personal favorite, come lick my Pop-Tart with Hershey pie filling. Yeah, Gypsy, it's really giving I'm not a sexual being at all.
So Gypsy and the dead animal on her head went live yesterday, and what do you know? They were packing up the house. I don't know if they got evicted or if Ken and Gypsy are breaking up or what's going on. I did hear Gypsy say I'm moving at one point. I don't know if that was a slip up or if that was just the wording that she used. Maybe it doesn't mean anything, but I thought it was interesting the way she said that. Ken was seen in the background and heard in the background. So he is alive and well, people. He did not want to be involved in the live at all. At the end of it, Gypsy went to go hold Aurora or something, and she asked if he wanted to be on the live, and he immediately said no. So he didn't want any part of it. He was really snappy at her, which that's nothing new. But it was almost like he was like, all right, let's get you out of here. Let's go. I don't know. We'll have to see how this plays out, but it's all pretty interesting if you ask me.
Welcome back to the juiciest corner of YouTube. Quick, drop a comment. Where are you watching from? What's the time there? And if you haven't already, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the notification bell to stay locked into the tea. Today, we're diving deep into the chaotic, tangled web of Gypsy Rose Blanchard's world. Rumors are flying that she got her sister Mia fired. She's blowing up Ryan Anderson's phone while supposedly committed to Ken Urker. And hold up, she's dropping hints about baby number 2. This is all alleged straight from the internet's wild rumor mill, and I'm here to unpack it with all. Buckle up, because this roller coaster's got more twists than a telenovela. And we're spilling it all. Let's start with the bombshell that's got everyone's jaws on the floor. Did Gypsy Rose Blanchard really get her half-sister Mia Blanchard fired from her labor and delivery nursing job?
Gypsy Rose Blanchard gets her sister Mia Blanchard fired from her labor and delivery job. Word on the street says that's exactly what happened. So these are comments that you can see that were left on a video on my backup account. Apparently, Gyp got Mia fired from her L&D job. She's in a dermatologist's office now. Another creator goes, a creator on here, I can't remember who, said Mia has been going live, and it seems like Krusty is making her. Getting fired would make sense. What? No way. Yes, she got fired. They used her on-the-job vlogs on TikTok as an excuse, but we all know why. What? I hope that's not true. Now, I've seen Mia's on-the-job TikToks, and they are actually more watered down than a lot of nurses. They didn't show any place that she worked. They didn't show any kind of patients. They didn't show any indication of what she was doing. In fact, a lot of them were at a desk while she was eating or in a closet somewhere. And the only reason why you knew she was at work is because she was in scrubs. She had her name tag on backwards, so you couldn't see anything.
Word on the street is that Mia, who's been quietly slaying in scrubs, is now working in a dermatologist's office. And fingers are pointing at Gypsy as the mastermind behind this career switch. Now, let's break it down. One wild rumor claims Gypsy and Ken got into a heated argument at Mia's workplace, with Gypsy allegedly giving Ken a black eye, leading to Mia's firing. Y'all, that sounds like it was ripped straight from a soap opera script. And Christy Blanchard, Gypsy's stepmom, shut it down quick, calling it flat out false. I'm with Christy on this one. That tale's too unhinged even for the Blanchard circus.
We know Jip Jip has a problem with Mia. We know Jip Jip has always been jealous of Mia. And we know others in Jip Jip's life who have lost jobs, have lost credibility, and lost so much more because of their ties to the Jipinator. So I'm really hoping this isn't true. But if you guys have any information and know that the creators or know of the creators that have posted about it, please tag me in their videos or let me know, because I really want to dig into this. Have you guys heard any of this? And Mia, if you're out there, you're our favorite Blanchard, and I really hope and pray that's not true, because you seem to really have loved your job as a labor and delivery nurse, and any hospital would be blessed to have you. All right, y'all, give me the scoop. What's going on with Gypsosaurus?
But there's a juicier theory with more traction. Mia's TikTok vlogs, where she films get ready with me videos at work, might have been the excuse her employer used to show her the door. These videos are tamer than a decaf latte. Desk shots, snack breaks, maybe a closet vibe, with her name tag flipped backward, no patients or hospital logos in sight. Pure, innocent content, right? Well, hospitals are stricter than a nun in a convent when it comes to social media. I've heard from folks who've worked in healthcare that filming anything on site, even a harmless snack break, can land you in hot water. One creator commented, "I've seen nurses get fired for posting social media while at work." So could Mia's TikToks have been the final straw? Possibly, but here's where it gets spicy. Some say Gypsy, with her alleged history of stirring the pot, might have tipped off Mia's employer or fanned the flames of jealousy to dim her sister's shine. The rumor mill suggests Gypsy's always been envious of Mia, who's out here thriving as the people's princess of the Blanchard family. Christy's denying it all, insisting none of this is true. But with the Blanchard crew, the truth is murkier than a Louisiana swamp. If Gypsy had a hand in this, it's giving petty villain energy, and I'm not here for it. Mia, if you're watching, you're the real MVP. Any hospital would be lucky to have you, and don't let this drama dull your sparkle.
Well, Christy Blanchard graced us with her presence on the other one on more than one comment. First, she let me know that wasn't true. However, I have like 4 different rumors in that video, so I'm not sure which one she's saying wasn't true. But on another commenter's comment, she also laughed and said that wasn't true. Let me show you. This commenter said somebody was saying that Gypsy and Ken were at Mia's work, and they got into and Gypsy gave Ken I'm thinking she's meaning a black eye. And that was why Mia got fired. Now, I wasn't sure, of course, and this is alleged, and this commenter even says that. Somebody was saying this commenter wasn't making this up herself. And I'm going to tell you why this one made me giggle. This one made me giggle because Gypsy's like 4 foot nothing, and Ken is taller. And I'm watching in my head Gypsy like off for a running start and Superman trying to get there and not making it. And also, I don't think there's enough power. She can't even hold her baby. But lastly, we all know how Gypsy handles her business. She hires people and uses pew-pews. Anywho, hold on, y'all. As you can see, Christy came on and said, what? Not true at all. Now, we figured that one was true, but my commenter heard it, so she wanted to say something.
Now, let's pivot to the romantic roller coaster that's got the internet in a frenzy. Gypsy's back with Ken Urker, her ex-turned-baby daddy, but the gossip mill is screaming that she's got one foot out the door and her phone dialed to her ex-husband, Ryan Anderson. Allegedly, Gypsy called Ryan 8 times in a single week, and this man, bless his heart, didn't pick up once. 8 calls, 0 answers. That's the kind of ghosting restraint I need when I'm tempted to text my ex at 2 a.m. Ryan spilled this tea during one of his daily live sessions. Oh yeah, he's going live every day, allegedly because Gypsy got him fired from his job too. Talk about collateral damage. In one of these lives, a commenter pointed out that Gypsy's relentless calls mean she's not all in with Ken, and Ryan threw some shade, agreeing, "Yeah, I don't think Ken is her person either." Oh snap. The rumors suggest Gypsy's playing a dangerous game, keeping Ryan in her back pocket as an emotional backup plan while Ken's out here working 66-hour weeks to keep the lights on. She's allegedly been cozying up to Amber J., a friend of Ryan's who's still tight with him, doing live battles and chit-chatting like old pals. Word is, Gypsy's trying to worm her way back into Ryan's orbit. And if she can't have him, nobody can. Talk about possessive.
Ryan Anderson just took a dig at Gypsy Rose Blanchard. He's on live right now. I didn't get a recording of it, but somebody backed me up in the comments. So he was promoting his $25 cameos, and he said, y'all, they are not 25 seconds long. They're 6 to 7 minutes, and I don't copy and paste. This is in regards to GRB's video that she sent a girl regarding the mother not liking the girl's boyfriend. Now, this was just set up. It was not a real problem. It was not a real request, but the girl wanted to see what GRB would say. The girl actually ran her question through ChatGPT, and guess what? ChatGPT came up exactly word for word as Gypsy's answer.
Meanwhile, Gypsy's spinning a narrative that Ryan's the one who can't move on, telling everyone he needs therapy, girl, pot, meat, kettle with your 3 therapists on speed dial. But these 8 calls paint a different picture. It's been almost 2 years since their split. And if Ryan's still tangled in her web, it's because Gypsy's mastered the art of manipulation, allegedly gaslighting him and keeping him hooked whenever Ken's not giving her the attention she craves. If this is true, it's messy, it's manipulative, and it's peak Gypsy.
Oh, I'm not wearing a ring. You should talk to Ken about that. Tell me.
What?
Nothing.
Gypsy seems a little bitter in her live this weekend that Kenny has not proposed as he promised. He swore that he was going to propose right after parole in June, and he still hasn't. So she's probably wondering why. Well, I could think of a thing or two myself, if I'm being honest. But do you guys think it was just for the show? Now that there's no season 3, do you think that he's ever going to propose, or do you think he's just going to go on for the free ride? Let me know what you think, guys.
Speaking of Ken, what's the deal with their relationship? The gossip suggests it's shakier than a Jenga tower in an earthquake. Gypsy's been dropping not-so-subtle hints about wanting a ring. Like when she went live and said, "I'm not wearing a ring. You should talk to Ken about that." Sweetheart, we've talked, and Ken's not exactly sprinting to the jeweler. Rumor has it he's clocking 66 hours a week to support Gypsy's lifestyle, especially since her income streams, lifetime deals, cameos, that blowout art project, are allegedly drying up faster than a desert in July. Then there's their daughter, Aurora, who's almost a year old, and Ken's reportedly not thrilled about the timing of that pregnancy, especially since Gypsy's divorce from Ryan isn't even finalized. Oof, the mess. Creators are whispering that Ken's in too deep, but not planning to propose anytime soon. In fact, he might be ready to bolt before he's locked in for life. The relationship's giving roommates with benefits vibes, not soulmate energy.
But one of y'all posted a clip, and she was asked, "Are you wearing a ring?" And she went, "No, I'm not wearing a ring." And then she goes off scene and comes back and goes, "You should talk to Ken about that." Sweetheart, we have. You have. The baby has. He has no interest in putting a ring on your finger, especially now. You've been canceled by Lifetime, and you don't bring in any money. Your blowout art didn't work, or blown out, or whatever. Your cameos aren't bringing in a lot. Your book is what? Like, what? Why is he going to put... Why pay for the milk when you get the cow for free? I'm just saying. I just thought that was really funny. We've seen other clips. We're going to talk more. But we are wrapping up our trip here in Corpus Christi. And then we are headed home because, I was only here to say happy birthday to my dad. He turned 70. But I just had to point out that Aurora is an Urker. Ken is an Urker. Gypsy ain't even close to being an Urker.
Gypsy's allegedly moved her stuff into a guest bedroom closet, and Ken's barely making cameos in her lives, popping in for a split second to rip bubble wrap before vanishing to the other side of the room. Bubble wrap, y'all. That's his big moment. The rumor mill's even tossing out wild claims about Ken dipping into Grindr or needing space to do his own thing. Whether that's true or not, it's clear Gypsy's allegedly using Ken for stability while keeping Ryan as her emotional fallback. And that's a masterclass in playing both sides. Some say this was all a plan cooked up with Christy to trap Ken, but it's gone too far, and he's not signing up for a lifetime of this circus. But wait, there's more drama. Ryan's not just dodging Gypsy's calls, he's throwing shade like it's his new career. In one of his lives, he roasted Gypsy's cameo game, pointing out that his $25 videos are 5 to 6 minutes of authentic 5-star rated content, complete with his dog Pixie stealing the show. Meanwhile, Gypsy's $100 cameos are allegedly short, copy-paste jobs that sound like they were churned out by ChatGPT. Someone even tested it, and her response matched AI word for word. Ouch, Ryan, that's a burn. He's out here hustling, allegedly because Gypsy got him fired, and some creators are calling for a cameo boycott, saying the platform's letting Gypsy break rules while others play fair.
Gypsy Rose was kicked off of Cameo. Now, she tried to join a year and a half ago, and after an investigation and people writing in, they decided not to let her on the platform. So how is she on now? Giving young girls advice, charging $149 for videos, for advice on how to handle your mother not liking your boyfriend. How is it possible for somebody who was kicked off for their notoriety a year and a half ago, and now all of a sudden they've made such good progress within society and have just proved themselves to be worthy of being on the platform?
My advice to Ryan: go independent, babe. Cut out the middleman and keep shining. It's heartbreaking to see him stuck in Gypsy's orbit, but he's making lemonade from lemons, and I'm low-key rooting for his hustle. And then there's the wildest rumor yet. Gypsy's allegedly planning baby number 2. In a recent People magazine article, she and Ken said they're eyeing a little brother for Aurora, but they'd need IVF to avoid passing on Gypsy's 1q21.1 microdeletion. They claim it's a mid-next year plan, but the internet's side-eyeing that hard. Why? Because Gypsy's dropping Easter eggs like she's hiding them for a scavenger hunt. A pro-Gypsy creator allegedly slipped up and mentioned her son and daughter, and Gypsy's been posting family emojis with 2 kids.
Did I miss something? When did that happen? Because from what I've seen, we have GRB airing out people's personal medical business, along with her family's business, her father having a 19-year-old mistress, cheating on her stepmom consecutively, continuously, talking about how she thinks Ken has HIV and how Ken bats for the other team, getting in minors' inboxes over the same types of things that landed her in prison to begin with. I guess that's her excuse now. She's just done such a good job and has proven herself, so now she can charge $150 to give advice. I did mention before, I think a lot of people, as well as myself, see it more as a novelty thing, getting a video from Gypsy Rose. But what happens when that 3% actually try to get advice from her and she steers them in the wrong direction? It's just very dangerous. There's such a fine line there, and I just don't think GRB should be towing that line, just like I wouldn't think Casey Anthony should be.
Plus, she's been talking about fertility testing, which feels suspiciously familiar too, when she was checking her fertility while still married to Ryan, right before getting pregnant with Aurora. This is the same woman who allegedly said she couldn't afford baby formula a few months ago, so where's the money for IVF coming from? My gut's telling me she might already be pregnant, soft-launching the news to gauge reactions. Gypsy's a master at playing the long game, and these oops, I didn't mean to pregnancies feel like a pattern. I'm not judging, but the timing and stability of this situation, especially with Ken's alleged reluctance and their financial struggles, are raising all my red flags. Let's zoom out and get critical. Gypsy's life is a masterclass in chaos, and she's allegedly the ringmaster, leaving a trail of collateral damage wherever she goes. Mia's job, Ryan's job, Ken's exhaustion, even her minion friend Bree, who's out here defending her like it's an Olympic sport. Bree's been snapping at commenters who ask if she has a job, bragging about her husband paying the bills while she does this all day. Okay, Bree, if this means yelling online and hyping Gypsy, that's not the flex you think it is. The rumors paint Gypsy as a manipulator extraordinaire, allegedly sabotaging Mia out of jealousy, gaslighting Ryan, and trapping Ken with baby plans while dodging accountability.
People magazine released 2 articles on Miss Gypsy Rose yesterday. The first one being she's looking into IVF for her second child with Kenny. And the second article, it's saying how she definitely will say yes if and when Kenny proposes to her. So she's still pushing this marriage proposal. It's so bizarre. I don't know if Kenny gave her the green light to say this in an article. I can only imagine the amount of pressure Kenny feels at home if she's blasting this to the public on and on and on. He must really be feeling the pressure. But let me know what you guys think.
She's spinning narratives, posting old ice bucket challenge videos to fake a happy relationship, and moving houses faster than I binge a Netflix series, all while allegedly owing back rent. It's giving grifter vibes, and while I'm all for a redemption arc, Gypsy's track record isn't inspiring confidence. Gypsy's TikTok live today, it was a total crash-out session aimed squarely at her mom. Gypsy didn't hold back, labeling Dee Dee a straight-up con artist and a lousy parent, insisting she shouldn't have to pay for her mother's messed-up choices. She went on about how everything people accuse her of, her mom was 10 times worse, and flat out said Dee Dee was not a good mom. In one clip, she agrees with a Minions take that if Dee Dee were alive, she'd be crucified, thrown in prison, and dragged non-stop online. Gypsy nods along, saying 100% yes. But here's the twist. This rant feels like a massive deflection.
But I choose to remember her for the good that was in her heart, that I truly believe was there. I have been working for years on forgiveness, and I hope that she is in heaven, and I hope that to some degree I make her proud, because in heaven they say that like all mental afflictions, all physical afflictions are gone, right? God makes you perfect in heaven. So if you take away the mental afflictions that my mother had, then I think what's left is a good person. At the end of the day, is a good person. Do I have regrets? Oh yeah, I've got many.
My mother was 10 times full, and I should not have to pay for the sins of her fucked up choices in life. That was her. This praise Blanchard. I'm sorry, she was a fucking con artist, and she was a shit piece of mom. Like, she was not a good mom. I'm not going to praise a child abuser. I'm not going to understand why people are defending and saying justice for Dee Dee. Her killer is in prison.
Yep.
And then,
you'll never hear us saying that either, Gypsy.
I cannot.
She got her justice.
And her judgment is going to come from God. You know, I don't know where she is, heaven, hell. I don't care. That is God for him to judge that. It's like, I'm sorry the crime happened. I can't take it back. I can be a better person going forward. But I can't apologize for the sins of my mother. You know, I've tried every which way to say, hey, I'm sorry that this is the life she chose to live, and I'm sorry that I was, you know, a part of it in the fact that I was her pawn and being used along with everybody else. But that is not something I can continuously apologize for. I have my own life to live. I have a kid. I have a family. I've got a life to live. I'm sorry. And I'm not, deal with it. Like, just deal with it.
Gypsy's focusing hard on her mom's flaws to sidestep the real heat on her own story, especially when pressed on accountability for the murder. She pleads guilty, did her time, even testified at Nick Gojohn's trial to try for a lesser charge for him. But let's pause there. Why wasn't she the prosecution's star witness like in most accomplice plea deals? Usually, that's part of the bargain. Testify against your co-conspirator. But the prosecution skipped her, likely because her truthfulness was questionable, and cross-examination could have blown up their case.
I was Gypsy 10 years ago in that situation. Like, I told Gypsy this. I would have done the exact same thing. And it makes it better that she wasn't able to do it herself.
If you were Gypsy Rose 10 years ago, you would have done the same thing. You realize Gypsy could have left her mom alive and just left with Nick, took the money in her pills and just jetted out, hopped on that bus, and bye-bye. You realize Gypsy Rose had multiple documents proving her fucking age. She literally could have just left. 48 hours before the murder, Gypsy texted Nick and told him her mom had made her sleep outside on the porch and pee in the bushes. Gypsy still did not run. Or did she make a different plan? Instead, she was worried about going to sleep with somebody else before Nick got there.
Instead, she ends up on the defense side, which isn't the heroic move she paints it as. Subpoenas might have been involved, not some grand gesture. Now, let's zoom in on the crux, Gypsy's motive for killing Dee Dee. The narrative that got her that sweet plea deal, out in just 8.5 years, was built on claims of severe medical abuse via Munchausen by proxy, where Dee Dee allegedly made her deathly ill for attention. But new dives into the medical records are shaking that foundation. Gypsy's camp, including her BFF Bree, or Bri, has been flashing snippets of records to prove things, like a May 1st, 2015 diagnosis of vocal cord dysfunction syndrome, which they tied to an impending throat surgery as the final straw for the murder.
As far as you saying it makes it better that Gypsy Rose couldn't do it herself, Gypsy shot her mom, unloaded the clip on her mother in 2011, picked up a gun and a dagger, chased her mom into a bathroom. She didn't even realize that the gun was a BB gun until after she unloaded the clip on her mom. As you can see, there's the date. Dee Dee doesn't even call the cops on Gypsy for shooting her. Instead, she makes an excuse and blames it on some guy at Walmart that was just a lie. Hell, Gypsy has said her mom never held her accountable for anything. Let's not act like Gypsy Rose didn't try to kill her mother herself. Nicholas Godejohn was Gypsy Rose's foolproof plan to murder her mother. Gypsy didn't succeed the first time she tried. She needed somebody who would.
And that's just what baffles me about it, is it's just like, how can you sit there and talk about somebody like that when you don't know their side of the story?
You don't know Gypsy Rose's side of the story. She's done 100 damn interviews telling her story, multiple documentaries, 2 freaking books telling her story. But we don't know her side. You know whose side we don't know? Dee Dee's. Side we know is a one-sided story from a murderer who's been caught in many contradictions and many lies. Details changing, new details added, going back on things she said, oh no, I didn't say that, even though she blatantly says it in her damn documentary. Yeah, we've heard Gypsy Rose's side. Gypsy's ever-changing damn story is the reason we continue to talk.
Bree showed it all mysterious-like on a live highlighting bits but yanking it away quick. Why the secrecy if it's slam dunk proof? Well, here's the tea. Vocal cord dysfunction syndrome causes shortness of breath, hoarseness, coughing, and throat tightness. But treatment? Speech therapy, breathing exercises, avoiding irritants like stress or allergens, zero surgery involved. Surgery isn't even an option for this. It's often mistaken for asthma or has behavioral roots. So, Gypsy's book claims this diagnosis led to a surgery that would have wrecked her voice and swallowing. Total mismatch with the actual condition. This isn't some wild coercion by Dee Dee. It's a legit diagnosis from exams and tests, not something a mom could fake or force.
Clearly she does.
Going back to, people saying, take accountability. Do you know, I think I figured it out why they say that. It's not because they don't focus on the fact that, yes, I took a plea deal, I pleaded guilty, I did my time, I did my parole time, I went to Nick's trial to try to get him a lesser charge and a lesser sentence as a defense witness. But what they are asking for, it's something that is, they want me to take accountability for actions and a narrative that is not true. They want me to say, I did this. I was part of the, con with my mom, I was in on it. They want that to be the truth. And I'm not going to take accountability for something I did not do. That's just like when they, this whole rumor and narrative that they want Ken to be gay. They are harping on that. They've been harping on that. And they will not give up until he says that he is. But he's not. He's not going to say that because he's not. Just like I'm not going to apologize or take accountability for something that I didn't do. I wasn't in on the con with my mom. I was a pawn of her con. But everything that people label me as on this app, my mother was 10 times full. And I should not have to pay for the sins of her fucked up choices in life. That was her. This Grace Blanchard. I'm sorry. She was a fucking con artist and she was a shit piece of mom. Like, she was not a good mom.
Being complicit in something your abuse doesn't make you any less of a victim.
Exactly. Yes, she was me. She was my victim, and yes, I will forever be sorry for that. But just like me, she was a victim and a perpetrator. Okay? So can we not blaze over the fact that she hurt lots of people by conning them and lying to them and scamming the system before I was even born?
Yeah.
That's not something. I'm sorry. I'm not going to praise a child abuser. I'm not going to understand why people are defending and saying justice for Dee Dee. Her killer is in prison.
Yep. And then you'll never hear us saying that either, Gypsy.
No, I
because
can't.
I'm talking to her. She got her justice.
And her judgment is going to come from God. I don't know where she is, heaven, hell, I don't care. That is God for him to judge that. It's like, I'm sorry the crime happened, I can't take it back. I can be a better person going forward. Which I can't apologize for the sins of my mother. I've tried every which way to say, hey, I'm sorry that this is the life she chose to live, and I'm sorry that I was, a part of it in the fact that I was her pawn and being used along with everybody else. But that is not something I can continuously apologize
the internet because y'all feel like this should have been a part of what was it? It wasn't a part of her. And even if it would have been a part of her parole, she's not on parole. You think she thinks when you get how many surgeries on you get out, they don't sentence you to punishment during your life too. Oh, and you're never gonna go online. Oh, that's how she been wrong. No, that was her escape. That was her escape from her reality. You know how y'all got, not only whoever got to, that's outside with a friend's house, she gets to do that. So she escaped online. Fucking deal with it. And if I hear one more thing about anything sexual, she was in her fucking 20s. She could be sexual. She fucking wants to be. Y'all are weird. She don't talk about that. That's weird. Like, I don't understand what's weird about anything sexual that everyone
I'm fucking speechless. Like, my jaw was on the floor when she started talking about Dee Dee and Dee Dee being a fucking con artist. It's like, girl, you're describing yourself. You are just like Dee Dee.
Digging deeper into the records, think of them as cliff notes to the full story. There's no sign Dee Dee pressured doctors into anything unnecessary. Take Gypsy's salivary gland removal. It stemmed from real issues like a diminished gag reflex, hypersalivation, and swallowing difficulties, confirmed by barium swallow tests showing she could barely handle small food amounts without spitting it out. Doctors tried meds first in 2004, then Botox injections over a year later with good results, before finally opting for the gland removal sometime before Hurricane Katrina in 2005. This timeline screams cautious medical progression, not a pushy mom fabricating illness. And guess what? These problems tie back to Gypsy's 1q21.1 microdeletion, a genetic condition causing hypotonia, low muscle tone, which can lead to swallowing woes and even type 2 fiber atrophy from her muscle biopsy, not muscular dystrophy, as some misclaim, but real muscle weakness linked to her genetics.
And I overestimated her. I thought she was, like, gonna be embarrassed that, like, her friends are on live talking about, well, she wore a diaper, like, just keeps talking about her past. And she's not embarrassed. She's totally fine with her friends coming on the internet and talking about her having diarrhea. Seeing this happen in real time is just so crazy. Like, this girl plotted her mother's death and is out here trying to be like, I deserve support. I deserve all of this. I didn't do anything wrong. You haven't even been out of prison 2 years, and let's talk about all the things you've done, all the grifting that you've done. You're still doing it with fucking Cameo. Like, when she killed Dee Dee, all she did was put herself in the driver's seat. Like, instead of being the passenger, she's now the driver, and she's fucking full speed.
Dee Dee wasn't inventing this. Tests and pathology back it up. If anything, she might have saved Gypsy's life by pursuing care. Gypsy was down to 36 pounds at age 9 before the G-tube helped her gain weight dramatically. Gypsy's stories keep evolving too. In her Dr. Phil interview, the final straw was an argument over her G-tube, not throat surgery. Her book shifts to the ENT visit and vocal cords. And now, her supporters are pivoting hard from medical abuse to general mistreatment. Like no slumber parties, no regular school, being kept in a wheelchair or with shaved hair, isolated from normal life. Bree even rants that even if every surgery was needed, nothing justified Gypsy's trapped existence. No relationships, no independence. So is the new motive that Dee Dee overprotected her to the point of emotional abuse, warranting murder? That wouldn't fly in court. Imagine a jury buying no sleepovers as justification for homicide.
Gypsy's little act that she's this little naive girl is getting old. Okay, so in her live the other day, she was packing and she held up these cocktail shakers and was like, what the heck are these? As her wig literally tries to run away from her head, like contain that thing. Anyway, back to the cocktail shakers. How do you not know what those are? Like, you have been out of prison for almost 2 years. I know you know things, like, please. And also, you've been living with Ken. We also saw you get drunk back in June when you first got off parole, so why are we acting like you don't know what alcohol is or how it's, like, made? She also didn't know how bubble wrap worked. Like, Ken had to tell her how to, like, rip it. And then she got all close to it to, like, rip it. I have no idea. She was just acting like she didn't know anything as she was packing up this house. I can't with her. She knew how to plan an entire murder, but, like, she doesn't know what a cocktail shaker is. Please, give me a break.
Gypsy snaps back that she's apologized for being her mom's pawn in cons, but won't take blame for things she didn't do, insisting she was a victim, not complicit. Yet the focus has slyly moved to DD as a scammer hurting people by lying and gaming the system, not the life-threatening medical torment that got Gypsy leniency. Oh, and let's not forget the starvation claims. Gypsy and co-author Melissa Moore painted Dee Dee as withholding food, forcing tube feeding. But a jail call right after her arrest has Gypsy chatting with Aunt Celeste about loving cheeseburgers, even noting Dee Dee was vegetarian, but she ate meat. Plus, interrogation tales of pigging out on candy and restaurant food at Disney World. She was eating, folks. Real swallowing issues from her condition, not deliberate deprivation.
Do you not think for 1 second that Gypsy is just a fucking murderer who gets off on it?
No, because I don't think people. I don't think that people want to be in wheelchairs and people want to be head in the head shape and people want to wear a diaper. No, you're the person thinking weird, not me, honey. Because I know murder's not right. But you know what else is it? Right? Doing that to your child. You're weird. So goodbye. You said you were leaving, right? Bye.
People don't want to get digged down.
Let me talk to Keisha. Bye. She's the only one not saying stupid shit like y'all. Bye. Bye.
Again, she didn't want to
You said
get
you need
digged
to
down
leave.
next
You was
to
almost
her
at your kid's
body.
doctor. Bye.
All right.
Sorry,
said
but
I
no,
got
Keisha, look,
nothing.
I want to show you these other papers, but I will not. She's not going to sit up here and invalidate that. Like, that's disgusting to think that people choose
You're not
that
going to
life.
sit here and twist everything I have to say.
Oh, what did that mean? What did that mean? You're trying to say that Gypsy chose to live the life she lived from 3.5 months old. She chose that, right? That's what you're saying?
I'm saying she chose murder because it was a fantasy for her.
No, that was a fantasy for Nick, sweetheart. Prove that it was a fantasy for her. Prove it. Prove it. I can prove it that it was for Nick. Right now, actually. Y'all ready? Y'all
She
listening?
fucked next to a dead body. Who
No,
gets
what?
off on that? That's a fantasy.
Wait,
The
what?
fuck?
Wait, what about a dead body?
She fucked next to a dead body.
No, she did not. You fucking ignorant. Okay,
Right
Keith,
across
I'm
the
not doing
room
this
from
right
it.
here.
Yes, she did.
She did in the next room. And you think she wanted to do that? I'm about to prove. Okay, this is what I mean. You came into this, 4 months ago? Girl, you don't know shit. Go away.
This all smells like narrative tweaking to fit the sympathy angle. She thrives on control and attention, even if it means stepping on others. And that's a pattern we can't ignore. But let's keep it real. This is all speculative, based on the tea from creators and the internet's endless rumor mill. If you've got the inside scoop on Mia's firing, Gypsy's calls to Ryan, Ken's disappearing act, or those baby rumors, drop it in the comments. I'm dying to know. Mia, if you're out there, you're the star of this family. Keep shining, girl. Until next time, stay curious, stay shady, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.